Something is different, and I can't quite put my finger on it.
I don't know, man. I think at lunchtime I'm going to go over a barrel. Niagara Falls in a barrel.
That's good because I was really worried we're in for a big fall. Oh, look at that! Bang!
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality.
Hey, everybody. I hope you are all doing well. That, of course, Anthony Melchiori. I'm Glenn Hausman. This is No Vacancy Live. And oh my, Anthony, after almost 2 years doing live shows, somebody got a green screen.
Yeah, I'll tell you why, because the green screen technology caught up with my lack of wanting to do anything to help my green screen. So I have this green screen that literally cost me $156 on Amazon. You flip up, you flip down, you close it, you put it up. It's the easiest green screen I've ever seen. And of the green screens on Amazon, it was the more expensive one, but it's the easiest one. Mm-hmm. And so I said, let me try this because I don't want to do my lighting. And my lighting seems to be okay. And here I am in the lobby of the Plaza Hotel, one of my favorite places. And you're at Adapter Beach, I see.
Yeah, of course. You know, I got to pimp the book, The Adapters by Sean Worker and myself, Glenn Hausman over there. Check it out. That's in Dubai. They did that for us when we published the book earlier this past year. Oh, it's already 2022. This past year, I'm excited because, you know, I'm going to be going to Vegas and doing a whole seminar for Radisson Americas on the Adapters book on
great.
21st of February. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
And
they bought 500 copies. So how awesome is that?
I've read every word of that book, especially my part.
Yeah, over and over again, for sure. All right, again, everybody, welcome. So our guest is going to be here, Anthony, but apparently he is having some camera issues. So while they try to figure that out, we'll just talk because you know what?
And then we'll change our green screen when he comes on.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm in the lobby of the Plaza. Let me explain to you where I am right now.
All right. Talk to me.
So when the Plaza was renovated about, I'm going to say 12 years ago, they basically made condos and they made a hotel. So there's like 250 rooms at the Plaza Hotel plus condos. And the only reason you have hotel rooms is because the union went insane and said you have to keep a hotel. And they protested, they brought everybody down, and they have a hotel, which thank God. Okay. So they have a hotel. That lobby where we're staying, where I am right now, is the Rose Room. The Rose Room, when it was the Plaza back in 1991, 92, was on the 59th Street side, which used to be a banquet room. It was off when you come in, you come in the 59th Street side or the 5th Avenue side, and there's that Christmas tree during the holidays. Well, right off to the left was the Rose Room. The Rose Room was just a catering room, was just a banquet room until Home Alone 2 came in, and we had to move the entire front office operations to the Rose Room, and we left the Plaza lobby so they can film Home Alone 2. So all of that stuff you see in Home Alone 2 in the lobby of the Plaza Hotel, while you guys enjoy that scene, it just gives me a high blood pressure because I was running the entire front office operations as the front office operations manager out of a banquet room.
That's great. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in decades. I should.
Well, next time you see it, when Macaulay Culkin's checking in, and he comes to the front desk, and that lady who's kind of nasty, the front desk clerk, I'm standing next to that lady, is an arm length away, off camera, and she's talking down to Christopher Columbus, who is the director, because we shot that scene at night, and Macaulay Culkin was upstairs sleeping.
Wow.
So they didn't shoot the other part of him checking in till the day, and then he's talking to the director, and she was talking to the director. So they weren't in the scene together.
Well, they probably had to do a whole lot of different things because of child labor laws, particularly when it comes to film, right? He was at an age where you really had to utilize his time in a very specific way.
Right. And that chandelier behind me was kind of, that chandelier was similar to the one in the rooms. It was kind of smaller, like the one near the bar. And they used to play with his brothers, I guess, used to play basketball off the chandelier, and they ripped the chandelier down. But or broke the chandelier. But that was a cool time, bro. That was the Plaza Hotel is still one of my favorite places to just make sure it's there. Every time I'm in the city, or most times I'm in the city, I will literally drive down Fifth Avenue and hit traffic just so I can make sure the plaza's still there.
All right. So, Tony, I know you're backstage, but it says your devices are not connected. Hopefully, you'll get that problem fixed up real soon so we can find out what's going on in Ontario, Canada, where he serves as the Ontario Restaurant, Hotel, and Motel Association's leader. So soon we'll have on Tony Elenis, president.
So can I continue to talk about the Plaza Hotel?
Absolutely. Keep
Okay.
going.
So, of course, Trump and Marla Maples were married there. In that room where...
That's when they were on the cover of the tabloids every day, right?
Yeah, and where that was a banquet room at the time, and that's where the VIP, where everybody would come off Fifth Avenue. Mm-hmm. If you were just a regular guest, you would go right into the Palm Court. If you were a VIP, you would go in there. And I think I talked about this with Adnan Khashoggi, whatever his name was. He was the
richest Sultan of Brunei.
No, I don't know what he was.
I remember he was a super rich guy.
He was one of the richest people in the world. You know what his net worth was?
No, Saudi businessman.
$4 billion. His net worth at the time was $4 billion. He was the richest man in the world.
And that was considered a lot. Now that's like chump change to some of the billionaires.
Jeff Bezos spent that in St. Bart's. and I told you about the time when Macaulay Culkin slid across the room. I told you that story, right?
Yeah.
About the carpet. About the carpet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
it doesn't matter if I know it. It depends whether they.
No, I don't know if the audience knows it. So long story short,
come on.
Long story short, Donald Trump, the director, Chris Columbus, and somebody else came up to me. I was the night manager, and they said, "Hey, Tony," he used to call me Tony. "What's underneath the rug?" I said, "I have no idea." We pulled it up just like maybe a foot. We saw it was black tar. They said, "Hey, can you pull that up and see what we can do with it?" So we pulled it up.
Right.
At night, we have to put it down every night, and we would start scrubbing and polishing, and professionals came in and they did the floor. And the carpet went away. So after years and years and years of carpet, and black tar, they got it beautiful ceramic floor, terrazzo, and so that scene when Macaulay Culkin is sliding across the floor at the Plaza Hotel a week or a month ago, whatever it was, there was carpet. They wanted to build a stage that he can slide, which would have been expensive. So when we pulled up the carpet, we solved two problems. One, we have one of the most beautiful floors in the hotel business that was original, and Macaulay Culkin slide into the elevator is legendary. And every time I see that slide, every time I see that floor, I think of what we did. So I was a small part of Home Alone 2.
That's a whole lot of fun. That's pretty awesome. Did I ever tell you that time I was in a Bob Dylan video in 1984? That's my brush claim to fame.
Tell me, what did you do? Did you play the sexy girl with the bikini?
Oh, no, I couldn't. I couldn't fit into the part. But Anthony, I know where it's at. So I stood next to the hottest women in the audience so I could get on screen. Even 14-year-old Glenn knew how to do that sort of thing. But it was great because we were at Nan's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. Back then, I think it was called Grauman's Chinese Theater, right? Now it just might be Man's.
And I think it's Chinese theater or something.
And this British woman with the hairiest armpits I ever saw in my entire life came up to my family and I. This is before it was fancy and, it'd be like, oh, she's European. Right. So she had the hairy armpits and
I think somehow you can be canceled for saying that, but I won't cancel you. Go ahead.
Thank you. We're just talking about body hair. It's not offensive or anything like that. It's just something I hadn't seen before. So I'm with mom and dad and this woman comes up. So she goes, "Hey, do you want to be in a Bob Dylan video?" And against the best judgment of everyone, my mom, my dad, and myself all jumped into a unmarked van and that got driven to a church a few blocks away. And we had the opportunity to get into this video. My parents stood in the back of the room. I jumped up into the front.
Can you find that video online and share it with us next time?
Oh, yeah. The song is called When the Night Comes Falling from the Sky. Completely forgettable song. Okay. But Dave Stewart of Eurythmics was there as well. He was in that song for some reason.
When the night, what?
When the night comes falling from the sky.
I'm going to see if I can find it.
Yeah. And the good news is our guest is backstage adjusting his camera and all. So we'll be able to get Tony on in just a moment.
The good news is, Glenn, is I found it.
Yep.
And I'm going to find you.
I'm in there for like a fraction of a second.
Where were you? Where were you? On a bus?
I was in a crowd. They all come in or something like that. Then they're performing on stage and I'm in the crowd where they're performing. Let me tell you what, Anthony, Why don't I grab a still of that at some point and then bring it up so that we won't get in trouble with the YouTube gods and all?
Yeah, well, I'm not bringing it. You can't see it, right? It's not on my
No,
screen.
can't see it, can't hear it, fortunately.
You can hear it?
No, I cannot. No.
No. Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
I found it. You just got to find your scene.
Yeah, we'll work on that. All right. But now I want to work on something else. But to get us into the mood, Anthony, to get us into the Canadian spirit, I'm going to go over to Canada real quick, over to Ontario, and hopefully you will do too. And in the meantime, while you're doing that, let's bring on Tony Elenis, who is the president of the Ontario Restaurant and Hotel Association. I think this name here is wrong. How you doing, Tony?
Great day. A very snowy day in Toronto.
Great to hear from you, and really excited that you're on board. I'm going to change your name. But first thing, Anthony, before we get into it, turns out this dude over here, big Led Zeppelin fan. I thought we would get that out in the open before we continue with the conversation. Pretty cool, Tony.
They're the best band around.
Well, I was working out with my trainer, and he started playing Led Zeppelin, and I hadn't listened to Led Zeppelin since high school, and I may have been partaking in some some type of smoking. And so anytime I listened to Led Zeppelin, I was a little, not here. And so when I was working out and I'm listening to it, I was like, I love it, but it just doesn't feel the same. But anyway, so welcome. And so you've had, like all of us, have had a good couple of years of challenges thrown your way. So before you were the president of the association, what was your tie into the hotel and restaurant industry? What was your career?
Well, first of all, thanks for the invitation to be on your show. Looking forward to our dialogue. I was born in the hotel industry, and I went into school for a different career altogether, more in line with electronics. But I started a job as a youngster to help me through schooling. And I started carrying bags in a brand new hotel. Well, make a long story short, I fell in love with the industry, mostly with the people, both the employees, my colleagues, and our guests. And I worked in various departments from food and beverage and rooms division, and went up the ranks, changed my education to support me more for the hospitality industry. And I've been with them over 30 years, working also for U.S. companies, ISG. I recall a company, Felcor, Bristol out of Dallas. And about 13 years ago, the executive board of the organization I work for now approached me if I wanted to lead the organization. And the first thing I said to them, I became a manager. I managed hotels all my life. I love food and beverage. I love building teams. I love to make things move ahead and make things happen. Government stuff, very dry. It's a big portion of my role.
Yeah.
Is about government. Well, let me tell you now, it's in my blood as much as food and beverage and it's a great discipline to have. It's the other side of the industry. Perhaps many operators do not know till they work with organizations and associations such as ours.
Yes, that's pretty cool. But Bristol, did you happen to know Sean Worker when you worked at Bristol?
No, I didn't. But
yeah,
management team, great job. Totally respect the industry to this day, and also with ISG, because I work directly under the corporate hotels when ISG was growing.
Yep.
I fell in love with the business. That's all I can say. And the only reason I joined this organization because it was the industry I grew up and fell in love with.
Right. And you've been there since 2008, I believe. So you really enjoyed it. So our friends up north, they've got the different associations. I had the opportunity to do a speaking engagement in September for the Alberta Hotel and Lodging Association, which was really great. And the folks from Vancouver were there as well. At least their leadership was there. And I also think Susie Greinall at the national organization is absolutely fantastic as well. One of the things that we forget down here, Tony, is to pay enough attention to what's going up there with the hospitality industry. So I'm really glad that you could be here today and share with us what's going on. What's going on right now? Sorry, Anthony, did you want to ask?
I was going to ask the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
Well, first of all, you mentioned my colleagues, great people,
Mhm.
dynamite people in the industry. Is glad to have them on board. We have restaurants and hotels in our organization. We must be the only association, hospitality association in Canada has restaurants and hotels. We have about 12,000 members across the province. And, you know, when March 2020 came, it caught us all by surprise. We thought it was going to be a 3-month ordeal, some of us 6 months. It came with a rapid force, and it was called an uncharted voyage. Well, we're still in an uncharted voyage, and the word unpredictable is still there in
Yeah.
many forms. I believe the industry just around November of last year, we're starting to see a green light. We were beating the Delta variant,
Yeah.
and we're starting to see some income come to the business side of things. People felt more comfortable. The government even had an opening plan for 2022. And then the Omicron just derailed the whole thing.
Yeah.
2 steps forward, 4 steps backwards. So the industry
Oy.
is angry. The industry is frustrated. The industry is in a mood that they just want to open right now. They
I
just
think
want to open.
Yeah. Sorry, Anthony. Go ahead.
Part
So
of
when you're saying open, where are you as far as closure? Because right now, most places in the States we're open, and New York is open, and we had the worst we've had in the last couple of months. In the last 2 years, the last month was horrible. I had it actually. I just got over it. But everything's open, and the number is literally like on a ski slope. It went up, and it's coming down as quickly as it went up, if not quicker. So we're open. New York City's open. We're starting to see business. Restaurants are packed. Where's Canada? They're still not letting, like, everybody's got to stay home and wear a mask. What's going on?
Since March of 2020, we've had many restrictions, a few lockdowns, and of course in Canada we have provinces, and each province has their own rules. But in Ontario, in the province of Ontario, we've been locked down the longest.
So you're still at home. You can't go out without a mask on?
We were open, and the second wave came, and then we're restricted to say 50% capacity in restaurants. Meeting rooms are totally locked down, gyms, and then we're open. We had a great summer in 2021. Hotels picked up business.
Yep.
Restaurants are rocking with patios opening, especially. And then with the Omicron, around early December, we were cut down to 50% capacity in restaurants, 50% capacity in meeting rooms and events. And then
Right.
early January, totally locked down again. So we're going up and down. And it's not about the Omicron being severe, but it's about the pressure on the hospitals and not enough nurses and health folks to service the patients. That's what the issue is at now.
Yeah, and that's what got scary here for a second. Thank God that's kind of being alleviated. But everything I'm looking at, and this isn't political, but everything I'm reading and everything I'm watching is and I only listen to doctors that are in emergency rooms. I want to hear what they have to say, and I want to read what they have to say. Across the board, 99% of every one of those doctors are saying that only non-vaccinated people are in the hospital. So, that's one way to keep that number down. I had mild symptoms, although I had the headache of my life. But thank God things are coming down in the United States. I think by the summer, it's going to be back to normal, and we're going to be open, and I'm going to come to Canada, and we're going to hang out.
Yeah, no, I see this as a twist in the road, not a roadblock.
Right.
I feel that even governments is trying to look and balance the economics as well as the health issues.
Yep. Sorry, guys. I'm just deleting some annoying comments over there. So let me ask you, Tony, how do you and your associations, hotels and restaurants, stuff like that, even be able to make decisions on how they're going to operate their businesses going forward? Because as we know, your part of Canada in particular has taken things much more conservatively as things went. And I know that because when I was in Alberta, they were kind of, to make Americans understand, Alberta is like our Florida and Texas, where you were more like the Los Angeles kind of New York kind of responses, right? But even now, you're much more severe. So what are your owners going to do about this? How can they move forward? How can they find some sort of financial solvency, particularly since on January 1st, now your minimum wage has gone up to 15 Canadian dollars per hour.
Right. Well, governments have stepped up to the plate, both federal level and provincial level, mostly focusing on the smaller, mid-sized business, those 99 employee type business and lower than that. There are businesses above that have cash flow, tremendous cash flow issues. There are new businesses that opened since March 2020 that have not received any compensation from the federal government. I would say that, yes, government is helping, but there are many that are just frustrated because it's not just about the grants that they're receiving to cover the, a portion of the rent and some of the subsidies and even covering fixed costs. A restaurant has a tremendous cost even when they're closed, and especially trying to keep some of your key employees like your chefs, because you don't want to lose them in a big workforce issue that we have, and I realize you do as well. But our main focus has been to advocate for government. It started with deferrals way back in March, and we realized that deferrals it's a bridge. It's not the end result. You got to pay them back, and then try to generate more dollars for hotels and restaurants. We believe we were successful. We brought in extension to patios, which was not there before COVID. That a restaurant can extend their patio without any questions, without any license. The beverage alcohol delivery with food, it's a huge successful support that will be there, and it's permanent now after COVID. Beverage alcohol price reductions were brought down. So a lot of it is an advocating, but also answering inquiries. We have a small force in our office, a great dynamite team that I work with, thank God. And I tell you, they've been working since March 2020 nonstop.
Right.
Webinars, even on mental illness, webinars with lawyers about employer-employee issues of everything COVID related. Communication has been the key area that most of our constituents wanted to hear. They wanted to talk to someone.
Are you seeing the same? Are you seeing the same problem that we have in the States where employees are leaving the hospitality industry in droves and they're not coming back? Every industry's lost people, but the hospitality industry has been uniquely hit, and those people are not coming back. Period.
We do.
You're seeing the same thing.
Workforce was the number one issue before COVID hit Canada. It continues to be more severe now. And let's do the math. The baby boomers, especially many of them immigrants, are exiting. They're at a retirement stage, and they're exiting at a rapid pace. COVID accelerated that process. There are less youth being born, so less youth going into any industry. Of course, less in our industry. And then we had the number of lockdowns that people just cannot feel secure to continue to work with us. So we're experiencing similar concerns. Yes.
Yeah, one of the things that thank God in New York they didn't lock us down again. I think I don't think anybody would have listened. I think it would have been like prohibition. It'd be like, okay, alcohol is illegal, we're drinking anyway.
Right.
So I think it would have been like, yeah, okay, we're not allowed to wear, but it would not have worked. We would have lost our minds, and especially now that we have all the data. The only thing I can hold on to is that being vaccinated, it looks like people aren't going to the hospital. But everything else, you weren't supposed to get it. If you have the booster, you're not supposed to get it. We all got it, right? Yeah. I boosted, flu shot, double vaccinated. Right. I had Dr. Fauci come and stab me himself. And still, I got it. And I didn't get really, really sick. So I think at this point, thank God this variant isn't dangerous. We've just got to keep working because the mental health of our countries, both of our countries, is at stake. I'm seeing it. It's challenging for me. It's challenging for everybody I know. It's certainly challenging for younger generation. And now, there's other things at play, right? You have all the Bitcoin, and you have the sports betting, and you have the streaming, and you have the TikTok. So you have all of this. They're out of their mind. They've been in their house, all these kids, and now, going to get a job for $15 an hour working the front desk isn't the most appealing thing in the world when they've been really, really comfortable, staying at home and not having to work or working at Uber Eats and then going playing video games. So it's a very big challenge that I'm, at least here, I'm taking very seriously this year. and I'm trying to figure out what's the best way for me to support the industry in a real way. So there are things I'm going to be doing because I think that we can talk about everything. We can talk about taxes for the hotels. We can talk about labor. We can talk about everything. The number one priority for both our industries in both countries is to attract kids in high school to this industry.
We need to do a better job as an industry to go into the youth, the parents, the teachers, and talk about the strengths of the industry. The biggest strength this industry has is career planning. I mean, look at a typical hotel. You can move in on a frontline position, and then there are so many supervisory positions with so many departments. Then you become a department manager, then manager. We have CEOs of hotel companies that came through those ranks. We need to talk the narrative a lot better than we have been.
100%. And that's something that, I've always been trying to find a use for TikTok. I think, that's my use, is to really look at each part of our industry and show pictures and videos, 10, 15, 20 seconds of how cool, like if you're a sales director, look where you can work. If you're a designer, if you're whatever you do. And it's just, and because so many stories are like yours and like mine, it's you walked in, you dropped your, you dropped your suitcase, and 35 years later, you're like, oh my God, what a career I had.
Yeah, we have such a plan that we're starting out in a couple of months.
Oh yeah,
we've been we received some funding from governments to do that, and that is to build success stories of those that have gone through the ranks, show them in the classroom, engage them, bring them into the workplace, and have them mentor the environment. Understand that this is not just an industry that checks people in, checks people out, and serves tables. And so we are excited actually about that. We have about close to $1 million to do this job in Ontario.
Wow. You think when you say close to $1 million, is that the funding you were seeking? Do you think that's going to make a real difference? How do you spend that money to be most effective and efficient?
It's a great start, but we're also gearing up to obtain support from the industry and the supply chain to make this model sustainable. So it's there 10 years from now, and it operates with its own focus, with its own leadership.
All right. Before we wrap up, I'm curious as to, is the government going to keep going back and forth, or are they just going to, at some point, just lose the reins and just accept what's going on and try to figure out ways to balance things better, as opposed to these complete lockdowns, which is going to crush your economy?
It's a great question. I think Omicron has totally destroyed the industry, more so from a mental view than any other wave we had before. So that means also the governments, and in talking with them, starting to understand the life needs to go on, and both the economics and the health have to be balanced.
Your number seems to be coming down as quickly as it went up too. I just looked, and your number is coming down. It actually, it's a little less straight down, but it's coming down pretty quickly too.
But also the point of saying, hold on, this is not an industry issue. The industry is not contributing to this. We have an issue ourselves by ensuring we have better capacity at our hospitals, and we have a better health system to defend ourselves against the size of this pandemic.
Yep. So what are you going to be able to do to make it easier, perhaps, for us Americans to be able to come and visit you? Because right now it's expensive, it's complicated. And while I love Canada, and I was thrilled to be invited to come to that speaking engagement and spend a week up in Alberta, to think about doing the ArriveCan app again and have to get an expensive PCR test for myself and my family, for example, makes it a little bit too much when I could take that $800-900 and put it into a vacation down here in the States. So is that a realistic concern that I have? And if so, how do you hope to deal with that?
It is a realistic concern. Our leisure, and that's people within the province, traveling within the province, was phenomenal. It really helped the hotels, restaurants out. But our barrier has been the border. So we don't only want to please you to come and visit us. We want to please ourselves, because that is a great remedy to recover. I remember back to the SARS years. It took a long time to bring Americans back here because of inconveniences like the passport and other issues, security at the border. We are
Right.
going to go through a worst case scenario now
Mhm.
moving forward. So, and we need to have governments talking to governments to enable that. So it has been the industry's top of mind. Absolutely.
Your country, I've been to 50 countries in my life. Your country is the hardest country to get in. Every time I try to bring my crew there, we've been there 2 or 3 times. Every time we get stopped, some of our crew members aren't allowed in. We have one guy, camera guy, got popped because he had, like, I don't know, in high school he got arrested for smoking pot or something.
Those things should not be there, especially between these two countries.
Yeah,
Right.
Bilateral agreement.
Right.
Anyway.
It's the weirdest thing, Tony. It was easier for me to get into China, for example, right? And every time I have to cross the Canadian border, it freaks me out for days at a time because what's going to happen? And I find it very intimidating. This last time I went through, I actually rehearsed my lines for a week ahead of time. And I'm like, I'm going to make direct eye contact with the individual.
Right.
I will answer in these very specific words. And it did help. It got me through right away. But I just wish that there would be more. Well,
it took
not
me.
that we could talk because we're not so great either. I don't. I just want to put that out
It
there.
took me a while to get in. I waited 12 hours there to get in. And something about me whacking somebody when I was in high school came up. No, just kidding.
Did you have the issues?
It was actually junior high that happened. But you know,
Did you have the issues before COVID?
Oh, way before, years
Oh,
ago,
yeah.
5 years ago. So I'm saying years ago it was difficult to get into your country. And it's famously known for that. Anyway, this is the time where you give a shameless plug. So
and
tell
before
people
you
where
do
to
that,
find you.
let me just once again say we love Canada and we want to be able to come up there and visit unfettered and spend some of our money.
And we want you here. So
Yes.
welcome again.
Yes.
And
So
thanks
shameless plug, please. How can we learn more about what you guys are up to?
Thank you for bringing me to your show.
All right, great. And we will see you hopefully before then, but if not, High Tech, the Hospitality Industry Technology Conference is coming to Toronto in June of 2023. So we'll see you then, Tony.
And we'll be out there face to face.
Yes, excellent. Take care, sir.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you. All right, that was excellent. I really love learning about what's going up. But the one thing, Anthony, that I miss most of all is right there in the CN Tower. They used to have an indoor amusement park, which was really cool back in the early 80s.
I was up there for an event or conference. I did a speaking gig a couple years ago. It's beautiful. And I wanted to ask something. I forgot if I can get a medium hamburger because when I was there, you could only get a medium or a well done hamburger. I was wondering if that's
really
the case. And there's a monkey tail. I don't know. I don't think that's maybe it's Ontario. You know what a monkey tail is?
Is it anything like a bear claw?
Yeah, it's exactly like a. It's a bear claw or is it a monkey tail? It's a bear claw. There you go.
Well, you know, we got to love Tim Hortons, right? I mean, it would be Canadian.
Well, maybe it is a monkey tail. Maybe I don't know. It's but it's on one of my shows where I was eating it. It was absolutely delicious. When I was going to a haunted hotel.
Oh,
so,
boy.
Glenn, what did you do this weekend, Glenn?
What did I do this past weekend? That's a great question. I don't think I did much this weekend. I did watch it. We watched Boba Fett. I watched Don't Look Up, and I did a bunch of work that I had to get done over here.
Did your kids pick colleges yet?
Well, as I mentioned, they got into Clark already. They finished applying, and now we're waiting to hear back. Dickinson sent me a note. They're in Massachusetts, and one of their marketing headlines is, I probably shouldn't say this because I want my kids to get in, is that it's really affordable. So I went to go look at the prices. It's
$43,000.
50 plus a year plus another 15 or so for room and board. So it comes in at about 70 grand a year.
Well, I will tell you, good news, bad news.
Mhm.
Bad news for the colleges is their enrollments are down insane. Everybody I talk to, insane. So you're going to be able to get good deals. You're going to be able to cut a deal.
I'm going to try to cut a deal because it's really ridiculous at this point. The amount of money that my family had to spend in order to educate me was in aggregate less than 1/2 of 1 year that I'll be sending one of my kids.
Yeah, but they probably could have spent more money to educate you.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, if I went to some of the classes, I probably would own some more, but that's a story for another.
You know, in college, in high school, in high school I was a mess. But in college, man, I went to all my classes because it was at night. I was in the Air Force, and I was a studying little boy. And I worked my ass off in college. I got a 3.6 GPA, lowest SAT score in the history of New York City, but I got a 3.6 GPA.
Wow.
And probably statistics, really hard classes were my favorites. Or not my favorites, but I did really well in them. It's just all about, applying. And that's why I think, college, and we talked about this last week, is just go to the college you want to go to get the degree you want to get or to get the certification. So if you love refrigeration or plumbing or mechanics, I wish, I would love to learn how to fix a car. I would love to be a mechanic or a plumber.
That would be great. I wish we would get more back towards that. I remember, growing up and being home from school, I would see those Apex Tech commercials.
Yeah, my what do you call it? My I think my brother-in-law went to Apex Tech. He became a mechanic. You know what he is now? He's a superintendent of MTA buses.
Yeah, right. Great jobs. We really screwed up America when we started to de-emphasize working with your hands over getting white-collar jobs.
We took home economics out of the classroom. We took theater out of the classroom. We took everything that's fun out of the classroom. I remember home economics having a little kitchen. We're cooking and we're learning about budgets and stuff like that. And none of that is taught. You don't even teach you how to write in script anymore.
Well, that I could get behind.
No, I like writing in script.
I don't like writing at all. Anthony, we got some important news here.
All right.
A friend of the North, Susan Burnside, and congratulations on the new job, Susan.
Thank you, Susan. The beaver tails. That's right. You said monkey claw. What did you say?
Bear claws, which are I don't know if beaver tails are like bear claws, but down here they're they're like a little
beaver tails are very, very delicious, but I think they're very specific to a certain part of Canada. If she can, no one should ever agree with Glenn, but whatever. So what are we doing interesting this month? Are we going anywhere, Glenn? I know we're going to Alice.
Well, next week we're going to be broadcasting live from Alice on Tuesday.
Next week,
dude. Yeah.
What day? I should buy a plane ticket.
You probably should get to that. Yeah. Yeah, I know that you're going to be staying at the same hotel as I am.
Yeah, apparently I am.
Yeah, so we're going to be broadcasting live from there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we're going to be doing a couple of shows.
I will probably be leaving Wednesday, my friend. I
understand.
Wednesday.
As long as you can leave after the show starts at 9 a.m. local time.
Probably can't, but I will see.
It's okay. It's all right. No big
deal.
You
can't live without me. Listen, you're better without me than you are with me.
I can handle anything. Although,
what are we doing when we're there? We doing anything fun?
No. I mean, yes, Monday night's going to be filled with lots of parties that you don't want to go to. So there's that.
Can you please tell everybody the truth that I am a loner and a hermit?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Like people got to get that. The other day I was talking to somebody. I was like, "Oh my god, that's ridiculous! It's a ridiculous statement. I'm a hermit and I'm a loner."
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just you going to the Alice cocktail party in July was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
And I was with who was I with? I was with Tammy Gillis, and Tammy was with me at the food court outside. Remember with all the trailers?
Freaking best part of the event.
Right. And she's looking at me. She's just another minute. And about just other minutes, she got the real Anthony. I grabbed her arm, her elbow. I looked at her with a big smile on my face and go, "I'm leaving with or without you. And I will go to dinner by myself. I'm done."
There was that time you went out to dinner in Dallas this summer. So you did do that. But typically when I go to these events, like I don't go out to dinners. I go to the main cocktail party, and then I go to all the parties that are afterwards and just grab little bites as I can along the way. That's the way I love to do these events.
I'm officially embracing my inability to socialize with humans.
And I am officially continuing on my policy of trying to eat and drink for free since I'm already investing so much money.
But no, listen, I love people more than anything, and I do love. But it's got to be like if you're ever in a cocktail party and you see me in a cocktail party, I'm not talking about you, but in general, people ask me questions that are interesting and teach me something.
Yep.
We're just going to sit there and talk bullshit. I have no talents, but if you can teach me something, I love talking to really smart people, and I just want to sit there and listen. But I hate cocktail talk. I hate cocktail talk. What's the game like? Hey, do you have that bet? And what's going on? And where'd you go on vacation?
I don't know anything about sports, but I've learned how to take cocktail party conversation A on sports and turn it into knowledge I know in cocktail party conversation
Well,
B.
well
So I
you know everything. But I will tell you, what's really scaring me?
Yeah. Mhm.
Sports betting.
Yeah, started this week here in New York.
There's already commercials about targeted young people
Yep.
about sports betting. So they already see the problem in other states. So
Mhm.
I'm really concerned about it. And I will tell you something. I was playing poker and I walked past a bunch of at the Philadelphia Live Casino,
Yes.
and there was a bunch of machines, 30 of them for
Mhm.
sports betting. And I went up to one and I was like, I've never sports bet before. I don't want to sports bet, but I wanted to see how you can do it.
Right.
So this weekend there's a UFC fight. There's a heavyweight champion.
Right.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a great fight, and someone's going to get knocked out or killed in that ring.
Oh, boy.
And I said, let me just bet. So I took $40 out of my pocket,
Mhm.
and I put $40 into the machine, and I bet, it's going to be a knockout. It's going to be this guy's going to win, whatever it was. And I bet. So I bet all the favorite lines, so I can win maybe $50, right?
Right.
But that wasn't the point. The point is I wanted to see how fast and easy it was.
Right.
Dude, it was like easier than going to an ATM. I was done with my betting. I'm not kidding, in 45 seconds.
And
And
you're
I
not.
didn't know what I was doing. And I had no idea how to bet.
Jeez. Wow.
It's scary. It's scary. And everybody at the poker table, again, I played in a $200 poker tournament. It's a small tournament, play to waste time and have fun.
Mhm.
And everybody at the table is talking about sports betting. That's all they're talking about. The guy next to me sounded like he has a PhD in sports betting.
Wow.
I had this line and that line. Oh, wait a minute. This guy. Oh, he threw the ball. He should have thrown the ball. He should have ran the ball. I would have won more money. And I'm like, we got a problem. It's sports betting for young people, specifically men, I think is dangerous. I think instead they should put everybody in the military for a year. But then I was just listening to a 4-star general about every person that should go in the military, like Israel, and it probably doesn't work. But anyway.
Right. Well, yeah, that is what it is when it comes to that. But the great thing about America is we love to demonize things until government realizes they can make money off of it. Then it's not immoral anymore, and it's okay.
Yeah, but they still won't give me a poker table in New York City. If they give me a poker table at Aqueduct, I'm done.
Dude, some of this stuff is just ridiculous semantics,
But
right?
see, they win. But people do sports betting to win money, right? Nobody's playing sports just because it's enjoyable. They want to win the bet.
Mhm.
Most poker players play poker to play poker.
I don't know. Most guys I know say that they like to have a little money on the game because it just makes it more interesting to watch and, kind of
to me,
feel like
it
they have
doesn't.
skin in the game kind of a thing.
To me, it doesn't. Although maybe Saturday night will be more interesting because I have $40 on it.
Ooh,
Yeah,
big spender over there.
I'm a
Yeah,
big spender.
I don't have any interest.
I'm going to make a sports bet. I'm going to bet that you don't know who's on our show tomorrow.
I bet you are correct. I did know, and then I forgot who was on our show tomorrow. But I did look at it just today. Oh yeah, Daniel Del Olmo. He's the in charge of Sage Hospitality, a great management company. I love them. Plus, it's National Popcorn Day, so that'll be exciting.
Oh, good. Send me a green screen of popcorn tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll
Yes, we will do that.
And Anthony Mercuri, on this date, everybody write it down, has got into the green screen world.
Yes. Wow. The next thing you know, pigs will fly, and maybe the Jets will win a Super Bowl again.
The Jets will be in the Super Bowl this year. If they pay to get a ticket.
Yeah, right.
Where is this Super Bowl? It's in
Wait,
LA?
hold on.
Where is this Super Bowl? LA?
Yeah, it's in LA.
Are we going to be? No, we won't be in LA during the Super Bowl, right?
No, we'll be there a week and a half beforehand.
Dude, guess what I'm going to do? I have a call with my friend and publicist, Rebecca Brooks. If you're listening, Rebecca, I look forward to our call in a few minutes. Before that, I got to book a plane ticket.
Yeah.
LAX, right?
Yeah, you buy the to LAX. So go do that. I will see you soon. And we got live shows in New York coming up. I'm going to be up in Seattle at the NEWH's annual event. So I might be able to get a broadcast out of there. Then I'll be in Vegas in February. Anthony, we'll see if you're going to be coming out to that. In March, I'll be out at Click in Orange County. Then we got the Hunter Conference in Atlanta. And looking forward to April. We got a HOA and HD Expo. A lot of things going on.
So, it's interesting when you say Anthony will see if you're going to be coming out to Vegas. You ever see the question where people say, uh, 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 they're talking about their wife, and it's like, okay, you have two options. One, leave and go to the bar and have a drink without your wife, or B, and they always go A. So before they even hear B, same thing. It's like, so Anthony, you could go to Vegas or A. I haven't been to Vegas in what, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks?
And something like that. I think you were there since I was there.
Last year, 15 times. And every one was a legit business reason.
And the funny thing is, I was there 4 times and people think I'm insane.
Yeah, I was there 15 times. But literally, I cannot book a piece of business without saying, hey, it's in Vegas, it's in Vegas, in Vegas, in Vegas, in Vegas. Yep. Isn't the Forbes thing in Vegas?
Yes, but are they doing it this year?
They better be.
I haven't heard anything about it. It's usually in February.
Well, they better be. They should be. If they don't, that's a problem.
Yeah, that'll be 2 years in a row. Gordon says, seems like yesterday, last Hunter conference. Jeez, I know. And that was in May. That was a long time ago. And now it's only, 8 weeks or so.
I think the Alice conference is going to be a little, I don't know. It's either going to be, high school, everybody got out of high school and is, going on a high school trip, or it's going to be more like a 30-year reunion where we're all like, what do we do? How do we look at each other?
Yep.
But I personally think it's going to be like a high school reunion. Everybody's just going to say, screw it. I think we're done because everybody there has gotten it.
Dude, for sure. There's over 1,300 people registered as of last week. So
that's great. And how many people usually register?
I think they've had 2,500 to 3,000 before.
Right.
Don't quote me on that, guys, but I've always been familiar with it on the either side of the 2,000 number.
Well, I hope so.
All right. You ready to get out of here?
I was born ready, my friend.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Now, remember, you want to download the audio version because we are in the top 1% of all podcasts globally.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's the truth, bro.
Wow.
Find that on listennotes.com if you don't believe me. Listen on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, anywhere that you like to get your shows. We are there. And for some reason, if we're not, drop us a line if you want to talk to us personally. He's at Anthony Hotels, and I'm at Traveling Glenn on social media. Don't forget to check out novacancynews.com. So, Anthony, just got one thing to say. Remember, you've got one life, so blaze on and
be kind to yourself.
See y'all tomorrow.